Listen to this. 5 things that broke people do. Number 1, they don't think logical. Most things they waste money on don't even make sense. When you look at the narrative, they waste money on cars, clothes, shoes, and trips. Then they come back to this situation ultimately looking at themselves as a failure because of the fact that you think that equates to success, but it don't. 1 plus 1 will always equal 2. And the most logical thinkers with economics will always have a better position than ones who don't think logical. Think of it like this. You work 40 hours a week, save money, travel, come back to being broke, and then cry about your situation. Where's the logic in that? Then you look at the fact that you're broke. Then you get someone pregnant and have a child. Or you go get a dog knowing you don't have money. That don't even make sense. Where's the logic in that? You're wasting money on a child that you already couldn't afford, and then you're wasting more money on an animal that you still can't afford. That don't make sense. Number 2, you don't look at money as a tool or an opportunity. You waste money, therefore never having money because you believe that the more you look like you have money, the more you have, but in reality, the more you won't have because the money you're wasting on pretending that you already do have. That's the mentality of most people. When you don't understand that money is a tool that you should be utilizing to invest so you can leverage your life so you can be free, the more you waste, the more you will have to work for it and ultimately die working for money because of the fact that you do not see it as a tool that it is. If I need to rake my yard, I will get a rake, ultimately raking up the leaves. Look at money in that same logic. Money is the tool that provides freedom by investing money, so therefore you don't have to keep working for money. So simply look at it like this. If you keep wasting the money, you're going to always have to work for the money. And then you're going to die working for the money, crying about working for the money, but you never ever invested the money because you did not understand what's the tool of it, what is the usage of it. Number 3, they always avoid the conversations they need to hear. So anytime you speak about things, they always either A, run from the conversations, or B, they avoid the conversations. How does one learn how to be successful if they're not willing to hear successful people teach them how to be successful? You're going to keep failing because of the fact that you avoid hearing logic. When you sit down and listen to successful conversations, you have to be able to speak the language of successful people, therefore becoming successful. If you speak the language of a failure, you're going to ultimately have the same results of a failure. See, the problem is in most cases, if you have a little bit more than the people you're around, you tend to believe that you're successful. But in reality, if I take you out your little 5-block radius, you'll realize that you don't have what you think you have. So therefore, when you speak to them, they're in avoidance. They villainize the people that could be teaching them things, and they love the people that co-sign their madness. So again, if you keep looking for people that tell you the lies, your life will ultimately be a lie, and you'll never get anywhere successful because you live it in a lie. Number 4, they equate to having sex as a means of success. Think about that. You have people, because they can get sex, they don't see that they're still bums. Just because you can get intimacy don't mean anything. I realize that the woman, she can be the guy, know he a bum, sleep with him, and because he has sex with her, he think that he's the man. But in reality, she had to get her kicks off just like you. But she'll never follow you because at the end of the day, or allow you to leave, because she knows that you're not that guy. So again, when they look at sex, they look at it as, I'm getting girls. You ever had an argument with a bum? And the first thing they say is, I get more girls than you? That's the same narrative. They believe by getting sex, that makes them successful. But it don't. It gives you a false sense of reality. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you look at it, it's quantity over quality. And most of the guys that brag about getting sex and most of the women is a lot of quantity and no quality. So therefore, again, if you keep equating sex to success, you're going to realize that you're not as successful as you believe you are. Number 5, liabilities versus assets. Broke people believe that liability rich is more than asset rich. A car, liability. Clothes, liabilities. Shoes, liabilities. Relationships could be an extreme liability. But broke people tend to believe that they will outperform their starting point because of the fact that they think that they're special. It takes a broke mentality to lie to themselves like that. Wealthy people or people that are doing well tend to tell themselves the truth. But again, you don't know the difference between an asset, you don't know the difference between a liability. Most broke people value liabilities more than assets. Wealthy people value assets. I always say this logic. If I go on social media and I stand next to a Lamborghini, everyone sees it as, oh my God, he's winning. But the wealthy people see it as, damn, that's a big bill. When you don't use anything to offset that expense, then you realize that you're actually working hard to pay for the liability, never gaining wealth because the money is going out the window. It's like turning the AC on and opening all the doors and all the windows. And that's what you're doing with your money. It's going right out the window. But a wealthy person understands that I will invest my money in assets. And my assets will ultimately give me the lifestyle that I want. So basically buying back my freedom. So again, when you don't realize that you have to buy back your freedom, you're going to do a lot of things to keep you stuck on the hamster wheel of life, never becoming free. So keep buying the clothes, keep buying the shoes, keep chasing the bums, keep lying to yourself, and you will realize that this is the reason why you're not wealthy. In most cases, it's a mentality that it takes in order to be successful. But most people don't want to hear the information, so therefore, they'll rather look like they got money opposed to actually having money. Work on your assets. Stop buying liabilities. Don't let that go over your head.